I'm extremely jealous that you are able to call out so many of these politicians. We cover quite a few of your videos.
Come over here, man. I can't stand it in
It's
DC.
gonna happen. It's
It
gonna
really
happen.
weighs on me. My parents live in Florida, and I visit them whenever I can. I hate DC so much, but come out here, man. Just all you need is a phone, and bother these people.
Yeah, when I say it's gonna happen, you guys gotta understand. RBN is still very young. Like we only 2 years old, and things that I want to do. I want to cover. I want to go overseas and cover foreign policy one day. But going to DC is definitely something that can happen down the line. And calling out these squad members to their face. I'm pissed because my Congressperson Emmanuel Cleaver, who obviously a pro-war pig, owned by Wall Street, owned by real estate developers. They're like never town halls. I'll be looking up because I always wanted that big viral moment. I've been waiting for this for ever since I started my work in citizen journalist. I want to see a town hall with Emmanuel Cleaver. Let's call him out for funding Ukraine parts of war. He doesn't do it, but all the town halls, everything in DC. So that may be something that RBN will do in the future as we continue to grow. Maybe we be in DC and have these great videos that you produce. So for people who don't know what we're talking about, do you want to time in real quick? Go ahead.
I just said I'll keep an eye out for Cleaver. I think I've seen him around here and there.
Dude, if you can get that clip from me, that would be absolutely glorious.
100%. I'll try to do that. Yeah.
That would be glorious. So if you people who don't know what we're talking about, this is your latest work. This is you calling out the noted anti-fascist AOC for her thoughts on the Canadian Parliament honoring a Nazi. And considering how much AOC talked about the threat of fascism, and also considering that as socialists and these Nazis are our ideological enemy or number one enemy, you would think that AOC would have a passionate
you would think
message ready. You would think, right? Anyway, let's play this.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Thank you. Quick comment for the GrayZone. Were you concerned last week when President Zelensky in Ukraine gave a standing ovation for an ex-Nazi war veteran in Canada?
Well, I mean, I think any situation like that.
It is concerning.
Thank you.
Man, she is running.
Yeah. And so by the way, at the end there, some people were confused because I kind of followed up and I was like, it is concerning. She didn't say it was concerning. I re-listened. I think she said something along the lines of like, we got to think it over. But I was just like, what? I was just trying to be like, what did you just say? Because she and as you'll see in this other one, this is her strategy. I mean, she uses this tone like she's about to condemn it, right? She's like, oh, I'm this, and then she just trails off and gets in the car, and it's like,
oh man,
condemn it. I mean, it's a Nazi. It's an actual Nazi. And then this is a similar one here where she uses.
Yeah, actually, I haven't seen this one, but I think it'd be good to play because you said this is quick. Yeah, you said it's a tactical trail off of an old. So this is like a strategy that AOC done, and we reported on this stuff before. This is definitely they have a and before I play this clip, they definitely have a plan because I don't know if you saw this, but Jose Vega and a ton of people called out squad members on the Ukraine vote before. And after they was called out guard, it's clear they're like, all right, we got to have some sort of procedure in place for whenever we called out for our imperialist votes, these issues that we do our best to avoid. So this is a strategy that AOC do what she does. It's tactical trail off.
It might be I was kind of wondering that myself. It might be a strategy. It might just be how her brain works. Like it just like pops in. It just kind of autopilot goes into like condemn mode, but then you can kind of see her brain click when it's like, oh wait, this is also criticizing Ukraine. Because in this one, I asked her about Gonzalo Lira, who's the U.S. citizen who's still arrested. This is back in May, but that was when he was arrested. He's still in jail. So at first her brain kind of goes, oh, imprisoning someone for speech, but then you can see it click that it's also criticizing Ukraine. So she goes, oh, wait a minute. Like, but yeah, Jose Vega's great. He's done some really great work. I would love for him to get out to DC as well.
Yeah, so you guys you have to ask yourself, what is she afraid of? Like, who's the real fucking boss? Because she knows the right answer. This is what you're talking about when she wants to condemn it, but then she does the political calculus in her head.
Yeah.
If I say this, who's gonna email me? What letter am I about to get?
It's probably the political base. It could be donors. I haven't looked too much into AOC's kind of donations and who she meets with in terms of lobbies. It could be guys like Schumer, like if you fall out of rank with the Democratic Party, there are powerful guys at the top like Schumer and Pelosi who can probably make your life hell. So it's probably all the above.
So that's one thing. That's just part of why we have the thesis of it's foolish to take over the Democratic Party. Look how scared. Whatever they tell these people, they know they cannot cross a certain line. That's why she was crying at the floor vote regarding the I think it was the Iron Dome, right? When she voted president, she was crying.
Right.
After Pelosi. Anyway, I'm prefacing this.
We need more independence. We need more third parties. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm pretty libertarian, but I'd vote for a socialist in a second if they promised to get us out of the Ukraine war. And if they ran on an independent ticket, I'd vote for them in a second. So, if we unite both populist left and right, could easily, get a couple members of Congress in there. I imagine there are enough of us who are just kind of sick of these wars.
Yeah, and I don't listen to the ineffective CIA infested Bernie Sanders love because they hate the idea of working with any libertarian or anyone who's not centrally a liberal on issues. But my litmus test is very fucking simple. If you're not anti-war, anti-imperialist, I'm not interested in you. Like you guys see, I only bring on guests like Leon himself, other GrayZone members, other anti-imperialists. And that's the starting point. Like if we can meet on being anti-imperialist, then we can work our way around the issues. If we can't meet there, there's no conversation to be had.
Yeah,
that's just
you should bring on others, man. Though, if they'll agree and just give them a hard time and tell them your point of view. I've been trying to set up this debate project with an outlet. We haven't launched yet, so I can't reveal it. But I've wanted nothing more, and I've been asking members of Congress too to come debate, go talk to the other side, and debate these issues like Ukraine. So. If people will agree, if you can get some sort of neocon weirdo to come on and talk to you, by all means do it. And you'd be doing a service by trying to persuade people like that.
Yeah, so I think we did a lot of prefixes. Let's check it out. I don't think I've seen this one.
Last week, a U.S. citizen was detained in Ukraine because he, quote, publicly justified the Russian invasion. How do you feel about our allies detaining our citizens for speech?
Well, I mean, in general, I think any detention over speech is,
Would it affect your support for
have to
country?
go. Pardon? Sorry.
Would it affect your support for Ukraine?
No. I mean, I don't know
I
what
did
you're
see
referring
this.
to, so I would have to.
I have the.
I did see this, and that's exactly the strategy. You gotta see how she starts to say the good thing, right? We all know she's full of shit, but she's like, yeah, I think detaining people over speech and trail off, and then she moves without answering the question.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then I say, would this affect your support for them? And she's like, no, but no, I don't like. She doesn't want to emphatically take one position.
You're frying her brain in real time. Sorry, what you say about you're frying her brain in real time?
Yeah, exactly that. I mean, it was just like at first she's like, well, no, it wouldn't support my opinion for Ukraine, but then she has to also caveat that because that would mean she's supporting this imprisonment of a journalist. So, no, it's a great moment. I'm glad. I got to be careful out there because So Jamal Bowman, if you've seen my Jamal Bowman clip.
Yes, we have. We covered quite a few of them.
He won't talk to me anymore. In fact,
he's pissed.
I got a pretty funny clip right after that AOC one where I tried to talk to him. I'm trying to get Max to post it, but he won't talk to me anymore. He's just like, I'm not talking to you, man. I'm not talking to you. And so I brought up the Nazi thing with him and he just stands there and got on the phone with someone. He's like, not talking to you, man. And so that's why I got
what a scumbag.
Because I embarrassed him because I put out he didn't know what Crimea and the Donbass were.
Yes.
And he said, I'm never talking to this guy again. So that's kind of the trick out there is like, maybe I should wear a disguise for everyone.
Have a fake mustache.
Yeah, seriously. I might actually do that. It's not a bad idea.
Fake mustache, have like a headband on, maybe sunglasses. They want to tell who you are. But Jamal Bowman is a scumbag he's a once in a generation sellout. Like I rank him worse than AOC or anyone else because the second that he was endorsed and praised by Obama, that's when you're like, I'm out. See ya. Yeah. I'm out here. And the fact that he thinks he has the right as a public servant to silence and mute a reporter asking him questions, I guess you're technically allowed to do that. But if we lived in a rational society, any left would reject that guy. The DSA still haven't expelled Jamal Bowman, a guy who can't even talk to reporters. It's unbelievable what that guy has become.
They should. Are you in touch with their leadership? They should totally call him out. I'll send him the emails of his staff just basically just stonewalling us on trying to talk to him. Because we've been trying to be fair with him. We didn't edit anything. We posted the full clip. it's just that the video made him look like an idiot because he didn't know the first thing about the Ukraine war, and yet he's sending our money to Ukraine, which is irresponsible. So I mean, but yeah, if you know the DSA guys, put some pressure on Bowman because
there's one based as DSA chapter, which I'm not even sure is a DSA chapter anymore. I think they got expelled because they're too based. DSA Madison, who wanted to expel Jamal Bowman because his votes over Israel, and they got in trouble. And I can't speak too much on it. I don't want to get her in trouble because she told me all this stuff in confidence. They got in trouble because they were trying to expel Jamal Bowman, essentially.
Interesting. Wow.
And there have been a lot of pressure among the grassroots people in DSA who I never go after. When I talk about DSA, I'm not talking about these people. I'm not talking about the grassroots people who want to do good, right? I'm talking about the DSA leadership who they understand the role, that their role is to sheep herd people in the Democratic Party and to trick the people underneath them to fall in that route. And a lot of people who are smart, and that's why DSA membership has plummeted recently. But
yeah, so I got to say, I mean, just real quick, this is one of the reasons I find DC so disgusting is because there's so many examples of things like that where it's like Bowman gets the endorsement from Obama. He starts changing what he stands for. The DSA gets this affiliation with Bowman. They start, changing their principles to appease Bowman, who likes them. DC is this like cesspool of like think tanks and politicians who all want access to one another. And so everyone's compromising on principles to get that access. And then, when you do that, people just bullshit. They can't tell the truth. They don't answer basic questions. It's why I sometimes get like just so sick of this place. And
yeah, I don't blame you,
I think
man.
that kind of that dynamic you just described of with DSA and Bowman and Obama really illustrates what it is that is so gross about DC.